The video diaries ***. The warm glow of Sarah's living room was swallowed by the cold December night outside. With the scent of cinnamon and nutmeg wafting from simmering cider on the stove, she sat cross-legged on her plush couch, phone in hand, ready for the most significant video call of the year. The familiar faces of her friends appeared on her screen, a digital constellation shining brightly amidst their scattered lives. "Okay, everyone ready?" Sarah smiled, though her heart raced with anticipation. This year, rekindling their friendship meant confronting the weight of unspoken emotions. She reached for the record button, her thoughts tumbling over one another like overzealous children at play. "Hey, it's Sarah. I can't believe we're finally all getting together for Christmas. I wanted to remind you all how much I miss you," she started, her voice wavering slightly. This wasn't just a reunion, it was a chance to unravel the threads that held their bond taut yet fragile. "Turn the lights down, it's supposed to look magical." Greg's voice boomed from his living room, his image flickering with an air of mischief as he joked around with Mia, who slapped his arm playfully. Mia's warmth radiated through the screen. "Yes. I can't wait to see everyone. Christmas is not the same without you guys. And no offense, Sarah, but we need to make sure there's enough hot chocolate this time." They all chuckled, but beneath their laughter was a nervous undercurrent. Ethan, the joker of the group, threw in a sarcastic eyebrow raise. "We all know hot chocolate isn't really the issue, Mia. Can we all be real? It's about getting into the spirit of Christmas," he winked, "and avoiding awkward family dinners." Their playful banter eased the tension for a moment, but as the call wore on, the atmosphere shifted, the laughter giving way to the unspoken burdens they each carried. Each friend, while smiling, was grappling with heavy hearts. "Let's do this video thing like we did in college," Greg suggested, his smile fading just a little. "Share what you want to leave behind this year and what you hope for the new one." The group fell silent, the weight of Greg's suggestion hanging in the air. It was always easier to deflect, but they had promised this year would be different. With a deep breath, Sarah shifted her gaze back to the camera, her voice quieter. I want to let go of this feeling of failure," she admitted. "Since my breakup, it's been hard. I just feel like I'm drifting, and this Christmas, I really want to feel like my old self again." You know Jackie was a jerk," Ethan chimed in, voice calm yet reinforcing. "You're stronger than that. With us, you're not alone." His reassurance was like a balm, momentarily easing Sarah's fears. "I know, but it still hurts," Sarah confessed, blinking back tears. The routine of laughter faded further as each friend unwrapped their truths. Greg spoke of his stagnant job that felt more like a cage than a career, the weight of his family's expectations pinning him down. Mia, the ever-dedicated friend, revealed her inner conflict as she pondered whether her dreams mattered enough to break free from her role as caretaker. Ethan, smiling on the surface, confessed to his underlying fears about taking life seriously and finding balance between fun and responsibility. After each confession, there was a moment of profound silence, the vulnerability in the room palpable. "We'll find ourselves again this Christmas," Sarah declared, the warmth of her resolve pushing against the chill of their fears. Evergreen Pines should prepare for the best reunion yet. As the call ended, Sarah set her phone down and exhaled sharply, fatigue crashing over her. Yet, deeper than fatigue, a sense of hope bloomed within her. They were coming together, and something in her gut told her that their shared struggles would weave them closer than ever before. Her phone buzzed with a message from Greg, ready to take on the world in Evergreen? With a smile, she replied, "Absolutely. See you all soon." As snow began to flutter down outside, blanketing the world in stillness, Sarah felt a flicker of excitement tighten in her chest. She knew the journey ahead would not just be about rekindling their friendship, but unraveling the heartache they each carried. The echoes of their laughter haunted her dreams that night, reminding her that joy was not simply a memory, it was a path awaiting them to tread anew. Home for the holidays ***. The rumbled echo of her car tires on the snow-covered road resonated through the biting cold as Sarah drove toward Evergreen Pines. Flickering lights dotted the landscape, each house transforming into a festive beacon in the darkening twilight. She shifted in her seat, adjusting the radio, delighting in the holiday tunes that felt like an old friend. It had been years since she had returned home for Christmas, and the familiar sight of towering pines lining the road brought a rush of nostalgia. Memories of laughter, snowball fights, and winter wonders filled her mind, yet, that warmth was tinged with a bittersweet edge. She glanced at her reflection in the rearview mirror, her hazel eyes unfolding a mixture of excitement and trepidation. As she rounded a bend, evergreen pines sprang into view with its majestic town square, a cornucopia of Christmas lights sparkling against the smothering blanket of snow. The sight pulled a gasp from her lips as she parked her car. In the square, the town hall towered above a massive Christmas tree, its branches heavy with ornaments that shimmered like dreams caught in time. A marketplace buzzed with festive shoppers, the air thick with the aroma of roasted chestnuts, the shrieks of children, and the melodic notes of carolers drifting through the crisp night. Carrying a heavy duffel bag, Sarah stepped into the flurry of life. She felt like a ghost in a familiar world, uneasy yet hopeful. The chilly wind tumbled down the square, setting her heart racing as she spotted the Green Willow Inn, its rustic charm illuminated by golden lights and a wreath bedecked with red ribbons on the door. Exhaling a warm breath, Sarah approached the inn. As she opened the door, the familiar tinkling of bells greeted her, and she was enveloped by the inviting warmth of the cozy lobby. The innkeeper, Mrs. Langley, a sprightly woman with silver hair and a twinkle in her eye, emerged from behind the counter. "Sarah, my dear, how wonderful to see you," Mrs. Langley exclaimed, enveloping her in a tight embrace. "You're more than just a guest, you're family." "Thank you, Mrs. Langley. It feels so good to be home," Sarah replied, sharing a genuine smile that reached her eyes. The inn was a testament to all things warm and welcoming. Knitted blankets draped over furniture, vintage ornaments decorated the walls, and the aroma of freshly baked cookies wafted through the air. Intrigued by the magic that lingered there, Sarah felt a flicker of unease give way to comfort. After checking in, Sarah trudged toward her cozy room, a small alcove decorated with rich mahogany furniture and embroidered linens. As she tossed her duffel onto the bed, a familiar ping vibrated against her phone. It was a group chat notification from Mia, who had just arrived. Mia, just pulled up. Can't wait to hug all of you. Deciding to freshen up quickly, Sarah dashed to the restroom and splashed some cold water on her face. "You can do this," she whispered to herself, wondering if she was pursuing too much. Stepping into the hallway, she felt a flutter of anticipation line her stomach, and her pace quickened as she followed the laughter echoing through the inn. She descended the staircase and spotted Mia, her curly dark hair bouncing with glee, her vibrant scarf adding a pop of color against the winter-white backdrop. Her infectious energy radiated as she embraced Sarah tightly, tears mingling with laughter. "I missed you so much. You look amazing," Mia exclaimed, her voice bubbling with excitement. "I missed you too. It's been too long," Sarah replied, her heart swelling. Before they could delve deeper into nostalgia, Ethan bounded through the inn's door, the cold air swirling around him as he stretched out his arms. Hug time. With their trio reunited, the bond sparked like kindling. "I hope there's enough spiked eggnog left," Ethan chuckled, his blue eyes sparkling with mischief. "Hey, did someone say eggnog?" Greg's deep voice resonated from the doorway as he joined them, still with an air of welcome despite the shadows of responsibility etching his brow. "We're just getting started," Mia shouted, and they all laughed, embracing the comforting familiarity of their friendship amidst the holiday bustle. As they settled into a cozy corner of the inn's lounge, the initial chatter was filled with holiday anecdotes and playful teasing. They relished shared stories and drinks, reveling in the contentment of spending time together. Yet, as the joy permeated the room, the weight each carried felt heavier, invisible yet palpable, reverberating beneath the festive veneer. The cozy surroundings began to offer warmth, but also raised questions about what it truly meant to be home for the holidays. But for now, they pushed their burdens aside. Each took turns sharing little snippets of the lives they had led apart, a balancing act between the past and the present. With every shared laugh, the warmth of belonging wrapped around them tightly, holding together the delicate threads of connection as they took their first steps into a Christmas filled with renewal and transformation. United in this moment, they could almost convince themselves the outside world didn't exist, until the cold wind rattled the windows and a distant memory of heartache flickered, only to be shelved for a merrier time. Unpacking baggage. With glasses clinking and laughter echoing against the rustic walls of the Green Willow Inn, the evening settled comfortably into a joyful rhythm. Yet, beneath the laughter, the air crackled with unspoken emotions, hidden crevices in each friend's heart holding secrets they weren't quite ready to reveal just yet. "Let's play a game." Ethan's voice boomed above the chatter, his playful demeanor brightening the room. "How about a Christmas version of Truth or Dare? It'll help break the ice." The others cheered, the idea seemingly igniting a spark of fun amidst their growing intimacy. But Sarah felt a flutter of anxiety settle in her stomach. Truth meant opening doors she wasn't sure she was ready to step through. They arranged themselves in a circle, festive drinks in hand as Mia drew the first assignment. Okay, I'll go. Truth or dare, Sarah? Truth, Sarah replied, reluctant yet eager for the playful atmosphere to sweep her away. Okay. Tell us something about yourself that we don't know. Mia's eyes sparkled with mischief, pulling the spotlight onto Sarah. Well, it was a simple prompt but suddenly felt monumental. I don't know if you all really know how lonely it's been for me since the breakup, she admitted, her voice small. I've been faking it, smiling through everything, but sometimes it feels like I'm just going through the motions. A wave of empathetic silence washed over the group. Greg nodded, his expression softening. It's okay, Sarah. We all have those moments. You're stronger than you realize. Mia quickly chimed in. What about you, Greg? Truth or dare? Dare, he declared boldly, but the energy shifted. This was where the real truths waited to emerge. I dare you to share one thing you always wanted to tell your family but never did, Mia challenged, a hint of seriousness threading her tone. Greg's laughter faded, replaced by contemplation. He sat back, shoulders falling as if the weight of expectation bore heavy upon him. Well, I guess. I want them to know I'm not happy with the career path they paved for me, he confessed, looking down. It's like I'm living someone else's dream while my own is slipping away. Sarah felt an ache of understanding for her friend. They shared the same fear of lost identity, but she never imagined Greg wrestled with it too. With their truths laid bare, the circle felt more sacred. Mia turned to Ethan. All right, brave boy. Truth or dare? Dare me to do anything, he boasted with a goofy grin. I dare you to tell us your biggest fear. The laughter around the group dissolved as Ethan confronts his own vulnerability, his bravado slipping for the first time. He shifted uncomfortably. I fear that I'm not going to find my place in life, he admitted, his tone subdued despite the usual flair. That I'll never be able to balance fun and responsibility, always remaining the guy caught up in the moment. Another moment of silence settled heavily in their midst, the gravity of their admissions drawing them closer together. What began as a light-hearted game morphed into a catalyst for shared healing. As truth unfolded, the laughter of light-hearted moments intertwined with exposure of heavier burdens. Each friend peeled back layers of facades, revealing the chinks in their emotional armor. Okay, we've all unpacked a bit tonight. Now while I still have some courage left, I want us to promise to really dig deep this holiday. Let's support each other and find the joy we've lost, Sarah suggested, her voice infused with newfound determination. As the night waned, they picked up their drinks, raising them as if toasting to their unyielding bond. To friendship and the spirit of Christmas, they chorused, the clinking of glasses ringing like hope echoing off the walls of the inn. That night, sleep came easily to Sarah, her dreams woven not in isolation but in the vibrant threads of connection. In the quiet room, surrounded by the familiar scents and sounds of life returning to her heart, she found solace in the understanding that they were all together, navigating the unpredictable waves of adulthood and the weight of holidays past. Nestled under the cozy comforter, she sought the resolve to face the hidden pieces of herself that still lay scattered like ornaments yet to be hung. Tomorrow was another day, and she had a feeling it might lead them to more than just holiday cheer. It would challenge them to reclaim their rightful joy and memories. Echoes of the past. The next morning dawned bright and crisp, sunlight filtering through the lace curtains of Sarah's quaint room, illuminating the snowflakes still twinkling outside like scattered diamonds. As the town stirred awake, she lay wrapped in a fabric of warmth, a mixture of excitement and nervous energy bubbling to the surface. The promise of a day filled with adventure lingered in the air, and Sarah eagerly joined the others at breakfast in the Green Willow Inn's cozy dining room. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee and pancakes filled the room, drawing the group into a soft morning glow that clung to their laughter. First up on the agenda, we're going ice skating, Mia exclaimed, her eyes shimmering with enthusiasm. I found out they set up an ice rink in the town square, and we have to start the day with festive fun. Just remember, I haven't skated since high school, Greg quipped, feigning a look of terror. All I remember is falling flat on my rear. Perfect. More reason to take wobbly photos. Ethan retorted, pinching Greg's cheek playfully, eliciting laughter from everyone. After breakfast, they bundled up in their winter gear and stepped outside into the fresh white powder that blanketed evergreen pines. The chill in the air invigorated Sarah as they made their way toward the town square, the excitement melding with the crisp bite of winter. The ice rink glistened like a shimmering treasure, and couples swirled around gracefully, while kids giggled in delight as they fell and got back up. With hearts full of anticipation, the friends laced up their skates, the metal blades cold against Sarah's skin. As they stepped onto the ice, laughter erupted. Their clumsy movements morphed into playful chaos, arms flailing as they struggled to find balance. When Mia whirled past them like a snowflake in the wind, Greg called out, "Mia, show us how it's done, pro." Okay. Watch out," she shouted above the laughter, performing an exaggerated spin before gliding away effortlessly. The ring of merriment surrounded them, but amidst the spirals of joy, Sarah felt echoes of memories rising within her. Holding onto the railing, she remembered the last time she had been skating, a day that had felt perfect, yet ended in confusion and heartbreak. The memory struck like a cold gust of wind, catching her off guard. She had skated with her ex, back when laughter masked insecurities. They had promised to always come together for traditions like this, until things separated them like the ice beneath her feet. "Sarah, you okay?" Greg called, concerned. He skated over, steadiness in his eyes. He had caught her moment of distraction. "Yeah, just thinking," she said, brushing it off with a smile. "Let it flow, girl," he encouraged gently, his presence reminding her of the support they all shared. Moments later, she found herself laughing again, their goofy antics pushing the shadows as new memories were forged. After several rounds on the ice, the playful energy and camaraderie gradually shifted into something deeper. Once more, the circle gathered off the rink, sat in the snow, and took a moment to catch their breath. "I think we've earned some hot cocoa," Mia said, brushing snow from her gloves with a bright smile. "I've heard a rumor about a hidden cafe that serves the best in town." "The elusive cafe. I'm in," Ethan declared dramatically, raising his arm as if calling for a royal decree while they trudged to their next adventure. As they weaved through the streets toward the cafe, laughter filled the air, a reminder of the bond forged between them. Yet as they approached a familiar street, Sarah's heart sank as they passed a storefront that sent a chill through her. The memory flooded back, a cheerfully decorated shop where they had picked out ornaments together that last year. A wave of nostalgia struck with the clarity of realization. She had expected to see them again, to relive that joy. As they walked past, she glanced inside, half expecting to see their past selves through the glass, yet all she saw was emptiness. "Everything okay?" Mia asked, concerned for her well-being. "Yeah, I'm fine," Sarah managed, but the tremor in her voice betrayed her. Ethan watched the exchange, his expression softening. "You don't have to pretend," he said gently. "What happened last year still matters. It's okay to remember it." Even in the casual confidence of his voice, she felt the underlying support that welled between them. Slowly, Sarah took a breath, acknowledging the weight of her emotions. "It just hit me that I expected everything to feel the same." A weight slipped from her shoulders as she allowed herself to recognize the truth in her sentiment. The past was part of her story, but it didn't dictate her future. "I think Christmas is also about change, embracing it," Greg added. "Last year is part of our journey, but we're here, and we're different now." With renewed determination, they continued into the little cafe just down the corner. It shimmered with holiday lights and filled with the mellifluous sounds of laughter and warmth, an idyllic setting for healing and celebration. As mugs of hot cocoa inched to their lips, each friend began to rediscover their roots and weave themselves into a new narrative, promising to honor their past selves while planting seeds of joy for the future. It was a blend of bittersweet nostalgia and hopeful anticipation, and Sarah knew in her heart that they were on the brink of something transformative. Secrets in the snow. The small cafe felt like stepping into a storybook. Thick wooden beams framed the ceiling, adorned with evergreen garlands and twinkling lights that danced in the restless steam rising from their mugs of hot cocoa. Fluffy blankets were draped over cozy chairs, inviting them to nestle in and forget about the world outside. As they settled into a snug corner booth, the rich flavors of whipped cream and peppermint lingered on their tongues, rekindling the warmth of childhood memories. Conversations swirled around them, punctuated by bursts of laughter from other patrons, creating an atmosphere vibrant and alive. "So what's next? Do we go caroling?" Mia suggested, eyes alight. "Maybe knock on a few doors to get the full experience?" Ethan leaned back in his chair with a smirk. "And scare off the neighbors? Sounds fun." "Definitely one of my best ideas," Mia countered with mock seriousness, earning a laugh from the group. For a moment, they basked in laughter, until the conversation shifted into more intimate territory. "You know what I can't stop thinking about?" Greg's voice was serious, rooting the group back to their underlying fears. We're not just here to have fun. We're here for each other, right? What's holding us back? Mia pursed her lips, contemplating the question. Aren't we all holding on to something? I mean, Sarah shared hers earlier. It feels like a good time to let it all out, right? The weight of her suggestion lay heavy upon them. Sarah's heart raced as she considered her friend's words. She glanced around, uncertain if she could fully bare her soul at that moment. But the authenticity of their connection urged her forward. I think I'm still grappling with letting go of what was. It's like I can't shake that sense of loss. I understand, Greg said quietly. I thought once I was home, it would all just click back into place. But I feel frayed and lost in a way that feels shameful. Same. It's like these memories keep pressing on me to choose them over what can be, Mia added. I just want to move forward. But it feels like I'm stepping onto a tightrope. One wrong move, and it'll all unravel. Ethan leaned forward, searching their eyes. But you guys, isn't that the point? To acknowledge that the past can linger, but it doesn't define us? It's okay if we're not okay right now. Together, they dared to confront the ghosts of their experiences, Sarah's broken relationship, Greg's burdensome expectations, and Mia's ambitions sacrificed for others. Their hearts laid bare, their bonds strengthened, and the quiet understanding that reverberated through the air deepened their connection. Suddenly, snow began to fall gently outside, thickening like icing on a cake. Sarah glanced out the window, enchanted by the beautiful chaos transforming the town into a winter wonderland right before their eyes. Let's go outside. We can make snow angels or have a snowball fight. Sarah exclaimed, her excitement bubbling over as fresh ideas danced in her mind like the flakes swirling in the air. With mugs drained and spirits lifted, they piled out into the snow, laughter erupting as they tumbled onto the ground. Sprinkled laughter turned into puffs of playful snowballs and echoing cheers as they tossed snow at each other. The joy of their childlike glee punctured the heaviness they had just shared, freeing them just as the winter air filled their lungs. Eventually, Sarah paused, breathless from laughter, and looked around at her friends, their faces dusted in snowflakes, each one illuminated with joy. In that embrace of vulnerability, she felt lighter, carrying less weight as if they had shared the burdens equally among themselves. This is the spirit of Christmas, Sarah said, her heart racing with gratitude. I've missed this, us. I missed feeling light. The moment seemed to stretch, glowing and golden, as silence deepened around them, punctuated only by the crunch of fresh snow beneath their boots. They found themselves standing amidst the enchanting scenery, looking around at evergreen pines, sprinkled with new memories on both solid ground and uncertainty. As the snow fell softly around them, the holidays began to weave their magic, transforming their burdens into fleeting spirits, and the path ahead shimmered with possibility. Sarah recognized that letting go was not a surrender but a gift, a leap of faith into what might blossom just beyond the horizon. In those moments of playful abandonment, they reclaimed the joy of friendship forged through laughter, and for the first time in a long while, Sarah realized she could embrace the holiday season with hope, rather than apprehension. Nothing had changed, but everything had shifted. The exhilaration of their playful banter echoed against the stillness of the town, reminding them all perhaps, that Christmas was about rediscovery and the warmth of being all together, sparking lights that would brighten the paths yet to come. Whispers of tradition ****. As the sun dipped low in the sky, casting a warm golden hue across evergreen pines, the friends made their way back to the Green Willow Inn, cheeks flushed and hearts buoyant from the playful snowball fight. Eager to continue their day of rekindling old memories and forging new ones, Sarah suggested the town's annual holiday parade, a cherished tradition that filled the square with laughter, cheer, and colorful floats. Don't forget the cookies. There are always cookies. Mia chimed in excitedly, bouncing on her heels. Ethan shrugged, a mischievous grin appearing. And what about hot cocoa? We could have a cocoa war, with cookies on the side, of course. They strolled through the picturesque streets, each step steeped in nostalgia. They passed by the quaint little shops bedecked in lights, where families were busy exchanging gifts and warm greetings. The atmosphere buzzed with the excitement of the upcoming parade, and Sarah felt a familiar warmth settle within her. At the town square, the anticipation grew as they found a spot near the front, the scent of roasted chestnuts wafting through the air, mixing with the sweet aroma of peppermint. Sarah scanned the faces around her and noticed a sea of familiar sights: kids bundled in oversized coats, parents bundled under blankets, and clusters of friends scaling the merry atmosphere. The parade began with vibrant floats marching down the street, bedecked in colorful lights and animated figures that danced along to classic carols. With each float that passed, laughter and cheers echoed like a heartbeat, washing over Sarah like a wave of fond memories. As a float depicting Santa Claus rolled past, Sarah felt an unexpected pang of nostalgia, wondering if she'd ever felt that unbridled joy of Christmas as a child, a feeling that had dimmed over the years. She stole a glance at her friends who were all lost in the magic unfolding before their eyes, a reminder that the joy she sought might still be within reach. "What's your favorite memory of this parade?" she asked, her curiosity piqued as she looked at each of them. "I remember that year we all dressed up as elves and passed out candy canes." Mia's eyes sparkled as she recalled the moment. "I felt like a real-life elf, so cool and magical." "I remember we all got caught up in a snowball fight with other kids halfway through," Greg chuckled, eyes glinting with mischief. "Then we ended up getting a lecture from the mayor." Ethan chimed in, laughing along. "I have to say, that's the best lecture I've ever received. I think it was a snowballing introduction to our career paths." As they shared their favorite memories, something beautiful began to emerge from within the laughter, a sense of belonging wrapped in the comfort of bittersweet nostalgia. The joy of celebrating old traditions, but heavy hearts that still yearned for resolution. Then, as if the universe sensed their desires, a sudden announcement from the stage pierced the air, a call for Secret Santa's special surprise guests to come to the front. A ripple of excitement surged through the crowd as a small boy, dressed as Santa, waved his arms enthusiastically, beckoning for anyone willing to join in. Mia's face lit up with excitement. "Let's do it. We can't miss out." Before they knew it, Sarah found herself swept away by her friends, their smiles contagious. They rushed to the front, reviving their inner children, their laughter mingling with the orchestra of joy surrounding them. The four of them stood together, waving, exhilarated by the adventure, as they became part of the parade spectacle. In that moment, they tossed aside their worries, embracing the spontaneity of the afternoon. The cheers from onlookers uplifted their spirits, and Sarah felt the fanfare wash away the remaining doubts lingering within her. As the parade drew near its close, the final float, a dazzling display of twinkling lights and holiday cheer, pulled up, and the crowd erupted. The atmosphere felt electric, as if hope were tangible. With the last notes of music fading, Sarah turned to her friends, eyes alight with warmth. "No matter what happens next, I want to promise we'll always find time to bring laughter and sparkle into each other's lives." They clasped hands, a tight circle of allegiance. "Always," they echoed, voices full of conviction. The warmth of that promise wrapped around them, yet beneath it simmered the realities of unfulfilled hopes and emotions yet to be addressed. Still, in that moment, it felt as though the magic of the season, the whispers of tradition, and the bonds of friendship would protect them through whatever storm lay ahead. As they made their way back to the inn, heart still buoyed, Sarah knew that within the snowflakes' descent and the echoes of laughter, shadows of their pasts began to unfurl, each one revealing fragments of who they had been, and the essence of who they yet might become. Silent reflection ***. The evening fell softly over evergreen pines, wrapping the town in a serene blanket of tranquility. Inside the Green Willow Inn, the warm glow of the fireplace cast flickering shadows across the room, creating an intimate space for the four friends as they settled into the cozy lounge, still buzzing from the energy of the parade. With mugs of steaming hot chocolate in hand, they sank into a plush leather couch, the soft crackle of the fire playing a gentle backdrop to their conversation. The sugar-laden warmth from the cocoa danced playfully on their tongues, but the laughter that had flowed freely only hours earlier had quieted into contemplation. "I don't get to see my family much during the holidays anymore," Ethan spoke softly, stealing glances into the flickering flames. "Sometimes, I feel like I'm stuck trying to find my place in the world while they're all moving on. It's a weird feeling in my gut, something I can't quite shake." Mia shifted in her seat, her brow furrowed with empathy. "You're not alone, Ethan. I think we all feel like that at times, don't we? It's hard to share those kinds of feelings, especially when everyone expects you to be all right." Greg leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees, his expression earnest. "I've been feeling like a letdown for my family too. Every time they call, they want to know about my job, my plans. I think they picture someone completely different from who I am now. Sometimes, I wonder if I'll ever meet their expectations." The weight in the air settled like a heavy quilt, and Sarah sat silently, her heart aching for her friends. Each friend's struggles echoed her own. It was as if they were weaving an intricate tapestry of vulnerability together. Tears pricked at the corners of Sarah's eyes. "I thought coming back home would bring me joy and comfort, but it's complicated," she admitted, letting the words tumble out like a confession. I miss the connections I used to have, my relationship, my family traditions. I feel less like myself every day, like I'm still drifting. Taking a deep breath, she took a moment to collect her emotions while her friends nodded in understanding. The warmth of their presence felt grounding, but the heaviness of what they carried lingered. "Why don't we create our own tradition this Christmas?" Mia suggested, her voice rising with hopeful enthusiasm. "One that's genuinely ours? Something that acknowledges where we are now, not where we were." "What do you mean?" Greg asked, intrigued. "Every Christmas Eve, let's spend a few hours sharing our truths," Mia proposed. "The losses, the hopes, the dreams, good or bad. I mean, we've opened up so much already. Let's embrace the unexpected and celebrate honestly. Let's call it our truth-telling Christmas." Ethan tilted his head, contemplating the idea. "It sounds touching, but honestly, a little daunting. Do we really want to dive deeper? What if I end up saying something really embarrassing? But isn't that the point?" Sarah interjected, her excitement matching Mia's. "We've already shown that we're not perfect. We're friends because of the imperfections, and we all care for each other deeply. If we approach it with love, we could create something wonderful." With uncertainty swirling around them, they exchanged glances, considering the implications. The thought of baring their souls made each of them distinctly aware of both fear and exhilaration. Sometimes the unknown bore burdens but could also unveil hope. "Let's do it," Ethan said, a determined lilt to his voice. "What do we have to lose?" As the spark of their new tradition ignited enthusiasm in the room, the warmth in their hearts solidified. They planned to hold their truth-telling session that very Christmas Eve, allowing comfort and courage to guide them through their shared vulnerabilities. Later that night, after a dinner filled with delicious delights, they found themselves drawn back to the lounge, the glow of the Christmas tree twinkling against the backdrop of laughter. As they gathered close, Sarah took a moment to notice how the world began to shift, how even as darkness seeped into their hearts, glimmers of hope intertwined like the lights in their festive surroundings. She set down her mug, heart pounding with purpose. "We're doing this together," she declared, locking eyes with each friend. "Let's face the complexities of our lives and emerge stronger. We owe it to ourselves, and to each other." Underneath the gentle hum of the inn's cozy atmosphere, they shared warm thoughts about the future and whispers of their dreams, accompanied by the echoing crackle of laughter, but the air also felt thick with reflection. As the night drew to a close, they all felt the weight of the world tugging at their hearts. Each friend took a moment to celebrate the splendid simplicity of being together during the tumultuous holiday season. They reflected on their pasts and dug deeper into their present journeys, becoming aware that they were no longer alone in their struggles. In the soft illumination of friendship, they were prepared to embrace the holidays anew, knowing that each truth shared could forge stronger bonds, lighting the path through the unknown together. The gift of truth ***. Christmas Eve morning arrived with a frosty brilliance, the world outside blanketed in a fresh layer of snow that glistened like powdered sugar under the bright sun. Inside the Green Willow Inn, the warmth radiated from the fireplace, and the scent of evergreen filled the lounge, deepening the spirit of the season. Excitement crackled in the air as Sarah and her friends made preparations for their long-anticipated truth-telling Christmas. They adorned the centrally located Christmas tree with an array of trinkets, each ornament representing lighter memories from their past lives, each one creating a backdrop for the heavier truths they aimed to unveil. Mia hung a handcrafted ornament that had been a part of her childhood. "This was from when I was 8. My mom and I painted it together. It reminds me of how happy the holidays used to make me," she said, her eyes shimmering with nostalgia. Ethan added a bell that jingled as he placed it on the tree. "And this one reminds me of that awful karaoke night we had back in college. You guys made me sing the jingle bells like a rock star." They laughed, the sound ringing warmly through the air, filling the room as the sunlight streamed in, illuminating their smiles. Greg stepped back and admired their handiwork, a sense of pride swelling within him. "It looks beautiful," he said, shaking his head at the remarkable transformation from the slightly barren tree to this vibrant display of love and laughter. "It feels like home." Soon, the time to share their truths approached, and Sarah found herself consumed by a gentle wave of nervous energy. Was she truly ready to dig deep and expose herself in front of her lifelong friends? Or would her fears grip her once more? As afternoon turned into evening, the group gathered around the fire once more, hot cocoa steaming in their hands. The atmosphere, laden with both excitement and trepidation, pressed gently against them as one by one, they began to share. "I'll go first," Mia offered, her voice confident yet filled with vulnerability. "The last year has been tough for me. I felt the pressure of being there for everyone else, and I forgot to think about what I really want. I'm scared to pursue my art because of the fear of failing. I want to express myself freely, but there's this voice that keeps telling me I'm not good enough." Her admission hung heavy in the air, the silence around them punctuated only by the crackling fire. Sarah felt the weight of Mia's truth settle near her heart, resonating with her own worries. "Thank you for sharing, Mia," Sarah encouraged, her heart blazing with empathy. "That's incredibly brave." "It's your turn, Greg," Ethan said, nudging him lightly. "Let's get real." Greg shifted uncomfortably, rubbing the back of his neck. "Okay, so here goes. I've been grappling with the expectations my family places on me. It's as if I'm living in this shadow where I can't ever escape being who they want me to be. I want to define my own path, but it feels impossible. I sometimes feel resentful toward them because of it, which only makes me feel like an awful person." "Greg," Sarah responded softly, "that doesn't make you an awful person. It's natural to feel that way. We all want to forge our own identities." Ethan, ever the jokester, swallowed his laughter and mused, "Life is not just a stage. It can really be a damn circus sometimes." He glanced sideways at Greg. "But even in this circus, we can still make it our own performance." With a deep breath, Ethan nodded for his turn. "Okay, here goes. My truth is pretty simple yet complex. I get scared to take anything seriously. I've flitted through life avoiding anything that seems like responsibility because I don't want to face the possibility of failure. I cling to the thrill of living in the moment even though it sometimes leaves me hollow. I worry I'll wake up one day and realize that I've wasted my life." The honesty carved into the room, each friend reflecting on their own struggles, shadowed yet vulnerable, opening the door for conversation. The camaraderie they had built shimmered under the soft glow of the firelight. Finally, with her heart racing, Sarah looked around the room, the warmth of their unwavering support filling her. "I suppose it's my turn. I've been carrying this weight of loss, and I've tried to pretend it hasn't affected me, but it has. I feel lost in my sadness. Not just about the relationship I thought would last forever, but about my own sense of identity. I miss who I was before everything changed, and I struggle to realize that it's okay to seek joy without feeling guilty about leaving my past behind." Their shared truths blossomed into a garden of honesty, fertile ground for connections to deepen and healing to flourish. As the evening wore on, they embraced each vulnerability as if it were a shared wound, stitching the threads of their hearts closer together. They no longer felt like flawed individuals. Instead, they were a collective tapestry woven from their experiences and fears. As the clock ticked closer to midnight, laughter emerged again, this time infused with a newfound clarity and hope. The warmth from the fire radiated love, inviting the flurry of memories from the past to transform into a vision of dreams for the future. Together, they vowed to embrace their truths and support each other, wrapping themselves in the gift of understanding. In sharing their vulnerabilities, they anchored themselves in the present, unearthing the resilient spirit within. The miracle of moments ***. The glow of Christmas morning broke over evergreen pines, illuminating the fresh layer of snow that sparkled like a million tiny diamonds under the brilliant sun. The air crackled with a sense of magic, the world outside shimmering with promise. Inside the Green Willow Inn, the soft hum of holiday music wafted through the cozy lounge, creating an inviting atmosphere that embedded comfort and cheer. Sarah awoke, stretching beneath the warmth of her blankets, and felt a rush of excitement ripple through her. This Christmas felt different. The truth-telling session the night before had opened her heart, and now, she sensed a rejuvenation of hope stirring within her. After tossing back the blankets and freshening up, she made her way downstairs, where the others were already gathered around the breakfast table. The aroma of cinnamon rolls warmed the air, the decadent sweetness mixing with festive laughter. "Good morning, sleepyhead." Mia greeted her with a mischievous smile, flour dusting her sweater. "We saved you the last cinnamon roll, your favorite." Sarah grinned at her friends, the familiar camaraderie fueling her spirit. They shared a breakfast filled with laughter, each bite of cinnamon roll accompanied by stories and hopes for the day. As conversations flowed effortlessly and smiles lit their faces, they embraced the joy of the moment. "Who feels brave enough for a Christmas challenge?" Ethan proposed suddenly, his eyes sparkling with mischief. "How about we each come up with a holiday-themed activity we must complete today? What are we talking about, like a scavenger hunt or something?" Greg replied, raising an eyebrow. Better. We'll create a Christmas challenge list where we each write down a fun activity to accomplish by the end of the day. Ethan grinned, leaning back in his chair, exuding an infectious energy. After some deliberation, they began jotting down their challenges. Mia's challenge involved decorating cookies with elaborate designs, while Greg aimed to ice skate backward, a feat he hadn't accomplished since childhood. Sarah put forth a challenge that involved a community feast for locals, wanting to share warmth with those who might be alone during the holidays. Ethan, not one to be left out, proposed a Christmas karaoke showdown at the inn. The group laughed, teasingly daring him to spread cheer through song. With their challenges written and spirits bolstered, they divvied up responsibilities for their festivities. Excitement bubbled as they prepared to spread cheer throughout Evergreen Pines. Sarah headed towards the inn's kitchen, where a small baker's corner had been set up with flour, eggs, and an array of decorations. "Let's do this," she cheered, rolling up her sleeves, pulling on an apron with gusto. Mia joined her, the pair laughing and singing off-key throughout their decorating endeavor. Sugar stars twinkled on the counter, and colorful frosting covered the cookies, as the kitchen filled with the scent of baked goods and the sound of joyful voices. As they finished, they peeked outside, where Ethan and Greg embarked on their skating challenge, laughter trailing behind them like the snowflakes that lazily fell from the sky. "Just look at them go." Mia chuckled, pointing at Greg as he wobbled and glided with exaggerated drama. "I can't tell if he's skating or auditioning for a circus. Either way, it's a display of artistic talent," Sarah teased, beaming with affection. Once the cookies cooled, they decided to gather with the community at the town square for the afternoon Christmas feast. The quartet set up tables laden with their festive treats and warm drinks, inviting townsfolk to join in. Laughter and heartfelt conversations erupted as the community came together, filling the square with warmth and joy. Sarah took a moment to glance around, feeling a swell of happiness wash over her. Here, beneath the twinkling lights of the square, she saw not only the spirit of togetherness but also the potential of new beginnings. Beneath the layers of shared cakes and joyful music, she began to understand how this Christmas altered the relationships she cherished. Just then, she caught sight of an elderly couple sitting on a bench, their faces etched with joy as they munched on cookies. Observing their smiles ignited something in her, the possibility of sharing the warmth she had rediscovered. Feeling an urge to connect, Sarah made her way over to the couple. "Hello. Merry Christmas," she greeted warmly, her cheeks tinged with excitement. The couple looked up, their expressions kind. "Merry Christmas," they replied in unison, mirroring her joy. "Would you like to join us for some cookies and hot cocoa?" she offered, gesturing to the festive table nearby. The couple smiled brightly, weaving their stories into the fabric of the day. They shared sweet moments from their lives, tales of love and loss, and the importance of community through the holidays. Sarah listened, increasingly captivated by the way connections formed, drawing her into a web of shared experiences. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, the air grew crisp, and Christmas music filled the square. The joy spread with every smile, every cookie shared, and for Sarah, the essence of the holiday became one of connection and reflection. The candlelight of hope flickered around them, and she realized the miracle of Christmas was not merely in the decorations or traditions. They thrived in heartbeats shared and moments lived. This Christmas, she was not merely receiving joy but participating in the communal spirit of giving and connecting, threading her heart's desires back into the fabric of her life. Returning to her friends, Sarah felt light, as if shedding layers of past sorrow while uncovering a bright new layer of hope. She had seen the heart of the season, and with every laugh shared, every challenge completed, and every connection forged, she knew that what she sought lived within those cherished moments. The gift of truth and connection had transformed their relationships, creating bonds that would continue to flourish. A song for the soul ****. As twilight descended over Evergreen Pines, a soft warm glow began to permeate the town. Lanterns flickered on tables while the murmurs of community spread like fragrant pine in the air, wrapping everyone in comfort and camaraderie. Sarah couldn't help but smile as she mingled among the townsfolk, the laughter of children ringing out in happiness. The feast continued to unfold, and the table filled with treats sourced from both friendly neighbors and their own labors of love. It felt like the very embodiment of connection, a simple gathering turned into a tapestry of warmth. But as night draped its inky cloak over the landscape, the Christmas karaoke showdown announced by Ethan began to spark palpable energy. Laughter and anticipation rippled through the crowd, and a spotlight was set up near the inn, the colorful lights bathing the snow in brilliant hues. "Okay folks." Ethan called into a mic, his voice booming with excitement. It's showtime. Get ready to unleash your inner diva. I expect everyone to join in. Even if it means exposing our terrible singing? Greg teased, standing at the forefront, his eyes twinkling. Especially if that's the case. Ethan shot back. Embrace the holiday spirit. One by one, friends and neighbors took center stage, serenading the crowd with renditions of holiday classics amid fits of laughter and cheers. The jovial scene unveiled a sense of liberation, allowing even the shyest participants to join in, drowning any hint of feeling out of place in camaraderie. Mia finally took the stage, her voice echoing through the microphone as she belted out, "All I want for Christmas is you." The enthusiasm surpassed her previous fears, contributing to an outpouring of joy from the crowd, and Sarah couldn't help but channel energy from the moment. As the night unfolded in a spirit of abandon, Sarah felt an urge to participate. "Okay, I'll do it," she declared, her heart racing as she walked up to the stage, fueled by a mix of trepidation and thrill. "Let's hear it." Greg cheered. As the music began to play for her chosen song, she grasped the microphone, visibility shaking with both fear and excitement. The words filled the air, and with each note, she poured her heart and soul into the performance. The once distant memories of singing without hesitation flowed back, the rush of adrenaline now surging through her as the crowd swayed to the rhythm. Sarah reveled in the connection of song and joy, the vulnerability of stepping out on that stage bringing about a bittersweet sense of freedom. Between notes, she saw her friends cheering in support, their smiles radiant against the backdrop of the starry sky. When she finished, exhilaration swept over her. The crowd erupted into applause, cheers echoing into the night. She found herself laughing with a vitality she had almost forgotten, realizing the beauty of expressing oneself freely amidst the warmth of friends and community. Ethan nudged her playfully. "Well done. Now we just need to get Greg up here." Groans erupted from Greg as he reluctantly took the stage, but with the encouragement of his friends, he suddenly turned it into a comedic performance of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, softening the tension around him as he went through every exaggerated action. Once his performance wrapped up, laughter filled the air once more, cutting through the chill of the winter night. Next, it was Mia again, joined by Sarah as they harmonized on another talented duet, their voices blending like snowflakes falling. The spirit of the night turned into a celebration of love, laughter, and the magic of being together, a testament to the unwavering strength of friendship through the challenges that accompanied them on their journeys. As the karaoke continued, Ethan, never against being the night's entertainer, pulled together all of the performers to join him for a rousing finale. "Let's all sing Joy to the World together," he called, inviting anyone affected by the night's energy onto the stage. One by one, townsfolk joined in, each voice blending into an enchanting tapestry. The carols rang through the square, and despite the cold, Sarah felt warmth enveloping her, the joy radiating from heart to heart. Lost in the moment, Sarah stepped back. It struck her. The breathtaking beauty woven throughout Christmas consisted not only of the laughter shared or the moments lived, but in the songs that resonated deep within. It became clear that their vulnerability fueled the strength that drew them into this collective harmony, its chords wrapped around her like a soft embrace, imbuing her with courage. When the last note echoed into the crisp air, the friends found themselves huddled together, their breath visible in the chill. "Can you believe how far we've come?" Mia said, her eyes shimmering, reflecting both awe and gratitude. At that moment, Sarah understood deeply that this Christmas wasn't merely a mark in time, it was the beginning of a journey, one grounded in healing, truth, and the unwavering bonds of friendship. With every song shared, they stitched a new narrative for their lives and kindled flames of hope that danced throughout their hearts. As the night closed, the four friends huddled together, the warmth of laughter echoing in the shadows, resonating through the night's deep embrace. They had woven their own melody amid life's complexities, and together they could face anything that lay ahead. Whispers of tomorrow ***. Morning light filtered through the frost-laden windows of the Green Willow Inn as the sounds of evergreen pines stirred to life. Christmas morning had passed, but its lingering warmth wrapped around the town, softening the winter chill with joy and connection. In the lounge, the remnants of the night before, discarded decorations, half-empty mugs, and fragrant pine needles, created a casual chaos that perfectly matched the sense of contentment weaving through the air. Sarah pulled on her warmest sweater, feeling grateful for the memories made during the karaoke, their laughter as vibrant as the lights still glowing outside. "Coffee or cocoa?" Mia asked, peering into the kitchen, her hair still tousled from sleep. "Cocoa, please." "We need the magic today," Sarah replied, the cozy warmth of their gathering enveloping her in comfort. The group had expressed desire to keep the holiday spirit alive, and they collectively decided to set out on a local hike to Maplewood Forest. The forest, known for its breathtaking beauty and serenity, promised a day of exploration and reflection. Excitement filled the air as they bundled up and slipped into their winter gear. Eager cheers echoed around the inn as they made their way outside, laughter dancing with the frosty air. She felt buoyed by their shared commitment and curiosity about what lay ahead. "I can't get over how beautiful everything looks right now," Ethan remarked, glancing at the trees draped with snow. "It's like we're walking through a postcard. Magic exists in moments like this." A shared laugh rippled through the group, but Gregory's expression faded slightly as they walked deeper into the woods, the silence beginning to linger. "Hey, what's wrong?" Sarah asked gently, noticing his distant gaze. "Nothing, just thinking. You know, about whether I'm making the right choices for my life," he murmured, guiding them deeper into the enchanting solitude of the forest. Those words settled into the warmth of their gathering, transforming it into something reflective and profound. It seemed they had all arrived at a crossroads, contemplating choices, emotions, and the desires rallying within them. "We've all had those thoughts after last night's truths, right?" Mia said, her voice steady. "We've been vulnerable and honest, facing these emotions together." They shared a collective silence. The forest wrapped them in a cocoon of peace, and as the snow gently whispered beneath their feet, each friend felt the weight of what they had laid bare the previous day. "Sometimes I wish I could take a step back," Ethan said softly, "and sort through everything that really matters to me." "I think that's normal," Sarah replied, offering him a reassuring smile. "Decisions can feel overwhelming. But the beautiful thing about friendship is that we don't have to go through it alone." Greg nodded slowly, as the conversation sparked something deeper inside each of them. They continued walking, the urge to connect part of their journey now playing a pivotal role in healing their hearts. "Let's make a pact," Mia suggested. "After today, whenever one of us feels overwhelmed or uncertain, let's reach out. Let's promise to show up for one another as much as we can." "You know what?" Ethan perked up. "I love that idea. We can even schedule check-in moments, like coffee dates or walks in the forest. Or karaoke sessions," Sarah added, giggling, "but less embarrassing next time." The laughter spilled over, and they reached a clearing where the sun poured down, glistening off the untouched snow. Colors erupted in hues of blue and white, encapsulating their moment of camaraderie and reflection. As they settled into the clearing, rooted in their friendship, Sarah felt a sense of freedom blooming inside her. They were not just friends, they were a chosen family aware of the fragility of life's passages, willing to navigate that uncertainty together. "I know this might sound silly," Sarah said quietly, "but I want us to share our hopes for the future. Just verbalize them. Sometimes putting them out into the universe feels powerful." Taking turns, they each shared their dreams. Mia spoke of pursuing her art. Greg expressed his desire to seek a path of personal fulfillment outside his family's expectations, and Ethan shared his wish of grounding himself through passion projects rather than fleeting moments. When Sarah's turn finally arrived, her vulnerability flowed like a gentle cascade. "I want to rediscover who I am, not just as someone who goes through the motions, but as someone with dreams, aspirations, and the confidence to chase them." Wrapping each dream in messages of encouragement, they fueled one another's desires, deepening their understanding of the paths ahead. When dusk began to settle over the forest again, and the sun retired behind the horizon, painting the sky with crimson and lavender, Sarah felt an exhilarating rush of hope. The shared moments, laughter, and whispers of secrets had transformed their friendships into a lifeline, a tapestry woven from threads of vulnerability and unbreakable support. Together, they emerged from the forest with a renewed sense of purpose. The path towards healing remained winding, but hand in hand, they discovered the beauty of navigating through uncertainty, forging brighter tomorrows, and finding hope buried beneath layers of snow. With the sun dipping low in the sky, their silhouettes cast against the backdrop of the woods, they would forever carry those whispers of aspirations, each heart a mosaic reflecting the courage it took to embrace their truths. As they headed back to the warmth of the inn, they understood one essential truth: the journey had only just begun. The Spirit of Renewal ****. Back at the Green Willow Inn, the hustle of the holiday crowd had returned, creating a warm atmosphere alive with chatter and laughter. The scent of pine and cinnamon wafted through the hallways as guests checked in, their faces glowing with holiday cheer. At the heart of the inn, Sarah and her friends gathered in the cozy lounge, their hearts still lingering in the serene clarity of the forest. They had shared their dreams, fears, and commitments, but now they faced the reality of what lay ahead. The spirit of Christmas shimmered in the air, and they felt empowered to embrace their stories fully. "What's next for us?" Ethan asked, leaning back in his chair, a mischievous smile on his lips. "Maybe a New Year's resolution planning party? We can put our hopes on paper." Mia clapped her hands, excitement twinkling in her eyes. "That sounds amazing. We can write letters to ourselves to open next Christmas. A personal time capsule." Greg nodded thoughtfully, his expression shifting from amusement to contemplation. "Letters to ourselves. I love that. It's a chance to hold ourselves accountable without the pressure of immediate results. Can we also include some expectations for our friendships as well?" Sarah suggested. "I want us to commit to being there for each other, not just through good times but through the challenging, transformative moments too." "Absolutely." Ethan's voice was earnest. "That's why we're friends, isn't it? To embrace the messy parts of life too." With renewed energy, they grabbed notepads and bright gel pens to begin drafting their letters, the atmosphere bursting with creativity and intention. Each friend found a corner to call their own, pouring their hearts into the letters that would become heirlooms of hope. "Dear future me, this year will be different. It will be a time of discovery and rediscovery. I will learn to embrace my emotions, welcome growth, and face fears that have held me back. I will pursue my art unapologetically and move outside of my comfort zone. I hope to reflect on my journey each day and to cherish not only the victories but also the struggles. Here's to us getting lost and finding the strength we hold within. With love, Mia." As she scrawled her words onto the page, Sarah felt the thrill of her journey mycelium intertwining with her friends. Each letter became a promise, a bond that would keep them grounded in the promises of renewal. After finishing their letters, they shared thoughts aloud, creating a circle of vulnerability and passion. Sarah spoke of her desire to cultivate connections, to dive deeper into friendships, and to celebrate her true self outside of expectations. "I want to embrace life and not hide from the things that scare me," she confessed, her voice steadying as words flowed. "I hope for courage and strength in pursuing joy, no matter how daunting it may appear." As they sealed their letters in envelopes and exchanged them distinctively, the air held a palpable sense of transformation. Words turned into vows, whispers into actions, and inspiration bloomed into tangible hope. "But what about our New Year's plans?" Mia asked excitedly, looking around. "We should go all out. Celebrate how far we've come together." Ethan leaned in, intrigued. "What if we throw ourselves a New Year's Eve bash? Something big to mark the transitions and new beginnings." With a sense of community bubbling over in enthusiasm, they spent hours devising plans for an unforgettable New Year celebration. They envisioned a night of laughter, dancing, and memorable connections that would encompass not just their friendship but also welcomed aspects of the town itself. As the final touches were introduced into their plans, their discussions blended with the festive spirit of the inn. Guests filled the common areas, laughter echoing like bells, an enchanting symphony of connection enveloping the space, a testimony highlighting the spirit of renewal. The days rolled on swiftly, the anticipation of their celebration growing stronger with each passing moment. The group embraced the prelude to the new year, dedicating time to one another while supporting their individual journeys. Each friend continued to foster their dreams, leaning on each other for encouragement during the brave answers they sought within. Finally, New Year's Eve arrived, elegant and sparkling. The inn was transformed into a beautifully decorated venue with twinkling lights, festive decorations, and the aroma of delicious food filling the air. Guests were greeted with warm smiles and hearty cheer, the sounds of music and laughter spilling into the night. As the clock ticked closer to midnight, Sarah and her friends gathered together, their hearts pulsating with excitement. It became a moment for reflection on the year that was, a reminder of shared laughter, fears faced, and connections solidified. 3 to 1. The crowd began to cheer, anticipation washing over them like an exhilarating tide, echoing into the night. Cheers erupted as the clock struck midnight. Fireworks burst into color across the sky, cascading light that mirrored the joy bursting forth within them. People embraced, laughter echoed, and a sense of freedom wrapped around them like a familiar blanket. "I'm so grateful for you guys," Sarah whispered through the loud music, tears of joy sparkling in her eyes. "For being here, for every moment shared, and the journey ahead." Together, they cheered, surrounding her with warmth. Hand in hand, they forged a promise. The light of hope, connection, and authenticity filled their hearts, welling into a direction of possibilities unknown. Through the laughter and celebration of the new year, Sarah understood deeply that each moment shared, each letter penned, and each event lived contributed to the spirit of renewal. Life, like the seasons, was ever-changing and wholly beautiful in its imperfection. As the fireworks lit up the night, she felt hope reigniting, a powerful promise of the love that blossomed ahead, with her friends beside her, ready to embrace each moment that tethered their hearts to the future.